Welcome everyone to episode 128 of 1 Hour, 1 Decision, 1H1D. I'm Chris.
And I am Tom.
And we take 60 minutes and play a random game on Xbox Game Pass and decide, is Dordogne, is that how I say it, Tom?
Yes. Well done.
Worth our time. Thank you. Is Dordogne worth our time?
I'm sure it's a beautiful place in France, and let's go.
Yeah, let's go. And this episode we're going to be talking about, I'm going to have to say this many times because I'm going to screw it up. Dordogne by, and oh my God, I'm going to do another one. Un je ne sais quoi, Umanimation? Umanimation?
I don't know.
Oh, there you go. That might be it. There you go, Tom. Thank you. Thank you for the save there. And this game came out in June of 2023.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's a new one for us. But might not be for you who's listening. That's okay. But this game, as usual, I played it on PC. It is 3.23 gigabytes on the PC. Tom, what about you?
For shame. On the Series S, 3.8 gigabytes. It's quite a size differential there.
It is quite a size difference. What's up with all those folks in France? Why are they doing this to them? Don't they realize that Tom has precious space on his Series S?
It's true. I don't have a lot of space to go around, especially not with Jedi Survivor on there.
No. Right. But what kind of game is this?
I put point and click in quotation marks adventure. You have.
I mean, that's very succinct. I put 2D/3D point, twist, and click adventure game because you're not just pointing and clicking.
Yeah.
I know you put it in quotes though.
Because I wanted to, like think Myst or Riven or whatever, like those sorts of games. But it's also a 2D 3D adventure game, so
for sure. But what about that game loop?
Investigate watercolor environments to find clues and remember your past.
Ooh,
haha!
I tried to overgeneralize this maybe a bit too much. I put complete objectives to progress the story.
That could be any game, Chris.
It could be any game, but it's true. If it's here, it works. I'm sticking to it. It's true, though.
You know what? It doesn't work. That your loop doesn't work for like Tetris. If the game doesn't have a story,
there's no story.
There's
no story.
So.
The game's over. Yes. But story is a big part about this game. And
yes.
We got to find out what we like about this game.
Well, I will say, talking about the story, I enjoyed unraveling the story. It's a little bit of a mystery. And you're finding letters and you're finding clues. And you're starting to put back together this character's past. And I think it's an interesting story / journey that you're on as the player.
Right.
So,
yeah. I mean, right off the bat, I got to say, though, this game is a looker.
Oh, boy, yeah.
It is a looker. And I think the music, does a great job of getting you invested in this story. And my goodness, it was like a watercolor version of like a Studio Ghibli.
Yes.
Right? Like a Studio Ghibli animation. But that was the thing I was trying to understand, because if this was made in France, is this like considered French art style? Like the way that the characters look, they reminded me a lot of like a Studio Ghibli or like what's the other one? Like a Lupin, like that kind of, I don't know. It was weird. Like I didn't realize how much there was that if it is that art style that is considered French. I don't know. You can tell me, Tom, if you know better than I do.
I will say that I agree with you. The watercolor looks beautiful. I think the character designs are really great too. Especially young Mimi. When you play the childlike version of Mimi, I think she looks great. And it is very like captivating and very like she looks like very a protagonist from a Studio Ghibli film. Like she really does.
Yeah.
She totally would fit in there with a lot of these other, with Ponyo and all these other little kids. So
definitely.
I thought it was cool that you explore the same environment at two different time periods. Yeah. So you're doing it as the kid, but also as the adult version of Mimi. Right. And so that creates like this, like things are here in the present, but they aren't there in the past sort of thing, which is good for a mystery / puzzle game. Like a lot of mystery / puzzle games do use this effectively. And this does too.
Yeah. And speaking of the idea, I guess I'm a little confused, might be a dislike. little confused like why she blocked out this whole like point in her time. And it was, I guess that kind of pushes you into the story a bit more. But like overall, I thought the writing was good. Like you learn more about this character, Mimi, and she's going back to the town of Dordogne. And basically the idea is that she's going back there. Her grandmother dies, and her dad for some reason like hates his mother and doesn't want to do anything with her, and you're going back there just to try and like collect things and figure out what needs to be done. So yeah, it's an interesting little story. I didn't really think I was going to be as invested as I was with this game.
Yeah, and the game does a good job of creating investment. Yeah. Even though it's very much like very artsy, you know, and it's not like you got to beat a boss or something like that. Like that's not what the focus of this kind of game is.
Nope.
But like you are crafting a binder of like your time with your grandma.
Yeah.
And it's just really cool because it's like you are taking memories that you are making while you're playing the game, and then the game is like, okay, but now you need to like save this and like which pieces of this are most relevant, or do you want to keep?
Yeah.
I think it's a very much like a game as art. Right. There are games that are also art. This is definitely one of them.
100%. And I mean, my assumption is that binder is what you'll eventually find at the end of the game. But it is kind of cool that you're like you said, you're creating this memory or these memories with this grandmother. And as like, I guess the final reveal is like maybe you flipping through the entire binder. I don't know. I'm making a educated or trying to be semi-educated guess here. But yeah, like the binder, the creation of the binder, even the what do you call it? Like the whole meaning behind the binder is like really touching, right? Because this binder was initially your grandmother's, and she's passing it along. Like this is what she used to use to communicate with her husband, her late husband. And so she was like, when you first mess around with it, because you just start to draw on it, and then she gets pissed off, and she's like, no, this like she gets really upset, but then she's like, no, this is your turn to pass this along, so you remember things and stuff like that. So it was there's like such simple. Like it's just a folder with some paper thrown in it, but it has so much meaning. It's like it's really cool that how much weight they gave that piece of inanimate object, you know. So
yeah, it becomes almost a character unto itself.
Yeah, definitely. Anything else you wanted to bring up here about your likes?
I think I touched on most of them. I noticed here I did miss, especially when you're playing as Mimi. There are segments where the game is kind of in black and white. And then as you explore, you put her visiting the area, brings it into color because I guess to represent you remembering as your later stage character. And I just really liked that as a visual trick or whatever you want to call it.
One other thing I do want to point out, because I kind of alluded to this with my type of game. This isn't like your generic point and click adventure game. Like you're literally not clicking through mouse, like with a mouse and stuff like that. You're kind of like there's some actions that you do that like make you feel like you're doing it in game. Like for example, like opening a drawer. It's not just clicking in the drawer. You're clicking and then pulling the joystick back. So you're like imagining that like, so there's like these kind of little interactions throughout the game that, you know, I thought was just nice to have just to change things up with the way you interact with the world. So yeah, that I just wanted to quickly point that out because I thought that was kind of neat to do that. So,
well, I'm ready to move on. Chris, are you ready to move on?
I am.
Well, I'll tell you what, I did not like that control scheme. I did not. I think it works probably better on the mouse than the keyboard.
Okay.
I think it ended up feeling pretty awkward on the controller.
See, I played this on controller.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah. I don't know. I got used to it.
I thought it was,
I got used to it, and I think it is unique. It definitely is. Yeah. And because there's not a whole lot of like conflict or anything that you really have to worry about, there's not action. I guess it's fine if I fumble with the controls for a couple of minutes, you know?
Yeah.
My character's not going to drop dead while I'm trying to open a drawer. So I guess it's fine. I don't know. I don't.
The more I think about it, it's like it almost makes sense because she is a small child, right?
Yeah.
Fumbling through things, and like it would be like awkward for her to do certain actions. So it's like, if we're talking about game as art kind of thing, maybe it is. They try to do that. That was the whole point of it.
Well, in the same way that early Resident Evils like had those tank controls to create tension, right?
Yeah.
Like they could have designed those games with different controls and made them easier to play, and there'd be less drama. Yeah. So I definitely think it was intentional, this control scheme. And maybe me dropping the key 14 times on the way to inserting it into the freaking thing. That's what they wanted to have happen. I don't know.
Yeah. I got to say, it's just so weird because this game has good voice acting, I thought, but they don't fully voice act. I feel like even throughout the game, like as you're talking through your like the memory section, or I want to say like cutscene section, or whatever you want to call it, it's fully voice acted, which is great.
Yep.
But then like during your gameplay, it becomes just silence and a lot of text.
Yeah.
I was like, why didn't they just a little bit more just to get them over to that dialogue? I don't get it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And it's not like there's tons of that dialogue. Like it could have been voice acted.
It could have been. So it was a little frustrating. It almost took me out of the experience a little bit.
Yeah.
I want to say. So it was that was one thing. And you say you don't like this. You don't like the thing, the controls. What else did you not like?
I don't like that on the Xbox, those stupid achievement pop-ups block the text. And since it's not being voice acted, like I can't read. So now I'm waiting for these stupid pop-ups to go away so I can go back to playing the game.
I wonder if you could turn those off.
Maybe I can. Maybe that's just a Tom problem.
It might be. Yeah. But you and I kind of touched on it in our dislikes. It seems like there's some like very, very dark undertones about this game and the subject that's happening. Because obviously you're talking about her grandmother dying and her reliving that past. Mm-hmm. But not only that, like there's this trauma that happened to her that she's forgotten that. Yeah. So it's like, what the heck happened? Like, what is going on?
Yeah, it's you have, and it's you have the death of Grandpa, which is why Mimi's got such a bad attitude as a kid. Yeah, and I'm like, stop whining. Like she's like, I don't want to be here. I want to be with my friends. I'm just like, I like don't like her. I'm like, how do I not like the character that I'm playing as? But Grandpa dies right in the past, and then Grandma dies in the present. And like you said, she's blocked this all out. So it's like, why does she not remember all this? She's like, oh, the first memory I have is from when I was 13. And I was like, kid, you're missing a lot of stuff in there.
It's like, oh, all right.
Yeah, like what happened in there? And then you have like the estranged dad. Dad's constantly telling you like, come home. It's not worth your time.
Right.
It's like,
right. Because like, what's your
parents?
Yeah. What's his trauma with them? Like there's so much to unpack here. So much in this game. And it's like, where does it all lead to? What dark ending are we going to get from this game?
Yeah. I do feel like there's heavy dark stuff ahead.
Yeah.
I also
sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, why is she calling her grandma Nora?
Oh yeah.
Right?
That's
okay.
fun. Yeah.
You call your grandma, okay?
Yeah.
Or some variant of grandma. Okay. This is weird. It's weird to use her first name. You don't call around calling your parents by their first names. Like,
oh, you don't. Unless
you're estranged from them, right? Like unless you're like
that's true. But then like, why does Peter Parker in the MCU call Aunt May? I mean,
but that's his aunt, right?
Yeah, I don't know. He used to call her Aunt May in the Spider-Man animated series. So I'm just.
Oh, you're saying he doesn't say aunt in the?
No, he just calls her May. Calls her by her first name.
No, that's weird. Don't do that.
Don't do that. Respect your elders.
Yeah.
Anyway, the other thing I wish there were certain locations in this game where I wish I could like run or just to speed it up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Because like I feel like. And not in a bad way. Like again, this game is very pretty, but it just for me, I was just like I wanted to keep going. I wanted to just get more of the story because I'm like, what is going on? Like I want like don't try to like hamstring me now by making my character go slow. But so be it. It's a nitpick for me. But yeah.
Well, and in fairness, you're backtracking through the same environments a lot. So like, how many times do you need to go up and down the stairs and see the same 3 rooms? So it's like, I could understand wanting to be able to jog a little bit through those environments. But if you do, you'll miss all the extra stickers and things that are.
This is true. I was going to say, Tom, is this a Metroidvania?
I don't know. I don't know. It's not. It's not flat and 2D and that. Like, I don't know. When I think of Metroidvanias.
Well, yeah, that's true. I mean, you're not getting powers, but you are getting more knowledge, and then going back to that world.
And knowledge is power.
So then it's confirmed. Dordogne is a Metroidvania. So
That's it. That's what it is. Forget point and click adventure. Forget twisting and all that stuff that you put.
Nope, yep.
Metroidvania is what we should have wrote.
Dordogne is a Metroidvania. But anything else you want to bring up about dislikes, or shall we get to our other thoughts here?
I'll be honest, I was not a huge fan of the constantly jumping back and forth in the timeline.
Okay.
I like my stories told in a pretty linear fashion. It's one of my biggest beefs with Book of Boba Fett. I think the 2 stories are individually interesting, but like, I just tell it in order. You know, this is me complaining about Book of Boba Fett. Here it's less annoying because the chunks are better. You know, the break points are better. But it's just a pet peeve of mine. I don't like my stories told this way.
That's fair.
I don't know.
That's fair. I'm not a huge fan of like, how did I get to this story? How did I get to this point in my life? Well, let's go back. It's like, oh, all right. Here we go again.
I'm okay with you doing it like once. Like you tell start in the present. The characters all, I'm the adult version and I've got all these trauma to unpack.
Right.
And then it's like you switch to kid version and you just play the whole kid story. And then you come back to the adult version and then play like the end of the adult version. If that's how this game worked, all right, cool. But it's not like that. It's like, I'm going to play a little bite chunk, back and forth and back and forth.
Yeah. I mean, it could be just that in a way to allow you to emphasize context about a particular situation or whatever. So whatever. It is what it is. And like you said,
it's a common storytelling technique. It is not. This game is not the only game that does it.
Yeah. Just Tom doesn't like it. It's fine. It's fine. But I will say this game is cloud gaming capable, which means it is Xbox Cloud Save and such compatible, xCloud compatible, but you will need a controller for it. Just to let you know. Although this game really does feel like you could have touch controls for it. 100%. I don't get why they should get on that 100%. How long to beat? Tom says this game is completable in 3 hours.
Woo!
3 freaking hours.
And we already played one.
We only played one, so we got 2 more to go, and two more games. We could be playing 2 more games with that. But what about you? Anything else you want to bring up here?
Okay, so for those who don't know and maybe weren't paying attention this whole episode, Dordogne is both a river and a region in France. Okay, so that's something. That's why. Okay. It takes place there on the bank of the river, apparently, it seems like. Also, there's some river scenes. The developer, Umanimation, maybe, is an animation company that also creates interactive art. So I think that from what I can tell, this is their first like proper game. But they've made a lot of like interactive art experience things. So that is why it feels very much like an animated project, as you were hinting at earlier. It's made by an animation studio.
There you go. There's the answer there. So cool. But Tom, we got to find out though, is this a game that we're going to keep playing or throw it into that river of Dordogne?
Well, I'd love to tell you, Chris, but first, a word from our sponsor.
Yes. Thank you so much, Tom, for that nice segue. So thank you so much to our sponsor, cdkeys.com, for helping support the show. And you can support the show by going to the affiliate link in the description below on YouTube or in the podcast description and going to check out cdkeys.com and seeing, hey, what kind of cool stuff can you buy? Can you buy a subscription in Game Pass? Yes. At a discount? Yes. Can you buy, Jedi Fallen Order or Jedi, what's the other one? Survivor? Yes,
Survivor.
you can.
Yes, and yes, probably.
Yeah, Probably, definitely. Check it out on cdkeys.com. And let's get into our final thoughts here, Tom.
Why don't you tell me what you think first, Chris? Usually I go first.
This is true. And you know what? I love me a good point and click adventure game. And this not only does point and click, it twists, it turns, does all that good stuff.
Bop it.
And it's only, I think there is even popping, but it's only 3 hours, Tom. This is not a very long game. So I'm going to keep playing this. I need to find out what the heck is happening with Mimi and her whole family situation. What about you?
So I wrote this prior to learning this very valuable piece of information.
Yeah.
I got the sense that this game isn't going to be very long. And that excited me, the prospect of sticking with it, knowing that it is a measly 3 hours and that I'm an hour through it. I think the story is interesting and I want to see how it ends.
Yeah, nice. All right. Both of us want to play this game, and you can let us know what your thoughts are about this game. And if you kept playing it, let us know. And on our Twitter at TC1H1D, or at email at TC1H1D@outlook.com, or even on Spotify. We've got those, I think there's like responses and stuff like that. Send us a voice note, all that kind of fun stuff. Check us out there, or check us out on our streams. We do them fairly regularly at Twitch, at twitch.tv/1H1D. And if you're watching this on YouTube, send us a comment down below, and we'll try to respond. 1H1D is part of that QTV network. And if you like gaming, not just gaming podcasts, but gaming articles, gaming TikToks, gaming streams, getting, whatever. Check that all out at quitthebill.com/network.
Yeah. If you like gaming.
Just gaming in general. We got something for you. So let's find out though, Tom. We need to find out what game we are playing next. And that surprising button is going to help us this time.
Woo!
As it most usually does. But
putting in the work. Earning its paycheck.
Oh. Cassette Beasts.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
I am excited.
I was excited. Why are you excited about this game?
So it is allegedly a Pokemon game for quote unquote grown-ups.
Oh.
So it's supposed to take that formula and iterate on it in a more meaningful way, diverge from the standard games. And also add in more mature adult themes into the picture.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So as a consequence, I love catching monsters.
Oh, yeah.
And it's got like kind of an 80s vibe to it. So I'm down. I've been itching to try this. So this is perfect.
There you go. Well, the surprising button has answered you. I'm hoping one day it answers for me. But until then, never, probably never. Just another roguelike. But that's it for this episode. Thank you so much for everyone for tuning in, and we will catch you on the next one.
Thanks, everybody.